You are not the gladiator. You think you are, everyone does. But right now, you're sitting in the crowd, eating popcorn, screaming at someone else's fight. Stoicism isn't a philosophy for monks. It's not a mood board. It's the moment you realize the sand is empty except for you. And every voice in the stands, completely irrelevant. Here's what nobody tells you about mental strength. The people most convinced they have it are the most controlled. And the people who look like they've given up, they've actually taken back everything. 5 ideas, 0 fluff. Let's go. Picture the Roman Colosseum, 70,000 people, all screaming, all judging, all with opinions about how you should fight. Now ask yourself, when was the last time the crowd won a fight? Never. The crowd has never bled. The crowd has never faced the sword. The crowd just watches and argues about what you did wrong. Most people live for the crowd. Every decision filtered through, what will they think? What will they say? Will they cheer? That's not living. That's performing. Stoicism is a single brutal truth. You are on the sand alone. The crowd can go wild. The crowd can boo. They can throw things. None of it changes what's in front of you. Here's what's wild about this. Once you truly internalize that the crowd is irrelevant, they start respecting you more, not less, because they can feel when someone has stopped performing for them. People don't respect entertainers. They respect fighters. The question is, who are you actually fighting for right now? And that answer leads directly to the second idea, which is darker and more useful. The game is rigged. Accept it. The dealer, call it fate, call it the market, call it life does not play fair. Never has, never will. Most people figure this out and do one of two things. They rage or they quit. The Stoic does something that looks insane from the outside. They keep playing, calmly, without caring about the pot. Here's why that works. When you stop caring about winning the hand you play better, you're not emotional, you're not desperate, you're not making moves based on fear. You become the most dangerous person at the table. Think about the best poker players in history. They don't win because they get good cards. They win because bad cards don't break their composure. Marcus Aurelius ran an empire at war. Plagues, betrayals, losing children. And he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's not resignation. That's a power move. The minute you detach from the outcome, you become unpredictable. And unpredictable people cannot be controlled. But control is exactly what most people around you want, especially the ones paying you, which brings us to something that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Company man is not a compliment. It never was. Tribes are useful. Teams get things done. But emotional loyalty to a corporation, a brand, a clique that's a leash dressed up as belonging, the Stoic operates differently. Full presence, maximum effort, zero emotional dependency on the outcome or the group. Go in, execute, walk away clean. That's the mercenary, not heartless precise. The mercenary doesn't hate the mission. They're actually better at the mission because they're not protecting their ego. They're not playing office politics. They're not worried about who gets credit. They do the work. They collect. They move. Most people are terrified of this because it means standing alone. No tribe to validate you. No group identity to hide inside. But here's the flip. The people who walk away from groups freely, they're the ones groups desperately want back. You become valuable the moment you become independent. And independence, real independence, doesn't come from money. It comes from the next point, which Epictetus figured out in chains. Epictetus was a slave. No possessions, no freedom of movement, no legal rights. He became one of the most cited philosophers in history. His student, an emperor. Now look at the average comfortable, well-fed, well-entertained person in 2026. Completely controllable. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Comfort is a cage. A beautiful, soft, warm cage, but a cage. When you never experience discomfort, your tolerance for it drops to zero. Now any slight friction becomes a crisis. A rude comment breaks your day. A delayed flight ruins your week. You are domesticated. Epictetus didn't seek suffering for spiritual points. He endured discomfort because he had no choice, and he discovered that inside constraint there is a version of freedom that comfort can never give you. Seek minor discomforts deliberately. Cold, hunger, silence, physical difficulty. Not for discipline theater, not for Instagram. To remind your nervous system, I am not owned by comfort. The moment comfort becomes optional to you, it loses its power over you. But there's one more reframe, and it might be the most powerful shift in this entire video. Most people hear Stoicism and think, accept everything, feel nothing, let it go. Wrong. That's not Stoicism. That's passivity wearing a philosophy costume. Here's the real version. When something happens to you, traffic, a bad review, a betrayal, and you react emotionally, you just handed your internal sovereignty to a random event, a car, a stranger, a bad meeting. You let that have power over your mind. That's not strength. That's vassalage. The Stoic reframe isn't I can't control it, so I'll let it go. It's I refuse to let a random external event govern my internal state. That's a completely different energy. One is surrender, the other is domination. You are not practicing acceptance. You are refusing to be ruled. Your mind is the last sovereign territory you have. Everything else, status, money, relationships, health, can be taken. Not this. Guard it like the only thing that matters. Because it is. 5 shifts, not 5 tips. You're on the sand alone. Play the rigged game with cold precision. Be the mercenary, not the company man. Make comfort optional. And never surrender your internal sovereignty to an outside event. This is not ancient history. This is the operating system that actually works. One question before you go: which of these 5 are you already living? And which one is costing you? Think on it.